Okay, good morning everyone, and welcome to Supply Chain Management online classes. This is Dr. Maheshya Manjari, Assistant Professor from Department of Management Studies, SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. Okay, so dear students, in the previous class, we started chapter number 7, Demand Forecasting from Unit 5. Okay, so let me take a quick recap of what we discussed in previous class, and let me continue from where we stopped. Okay. And let me share the PowerPoint slide now. Yeah, I hope you can see the PowerPoint slides, right? Students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So supply chain management, chapter number 7, demand forecasting in a supply chain. Okay, so there are lots of news, but again, okay, so since there is no scope for news in our class, so there was a news also again in supply chain, okay, due to the bottlenecks in supply chain, how the antiviral and oxygen supply is delayed, okay. But what is the use of reading that news? Anyway, so let's go ahead with outline. The role of forecasting in a supply chain. Okay, that is I think what we have discussed, and the characteristics of forecasts. So what is remaining is components of forecasts. I also we have discussed and forecasting methods. Last part is the process of forecasting. Okay. So what we have understood is the basis for all strategic and planning decisions in a supply chain is demand forecasting. Okay. And demand forecasting used whether it is a push strategy or pull strategy. Okay. So I have learned how without demand forecasting, production, marketing, finance, and even human resource management cannot function. They will not have any direction in which they have to work without demand forecasting. Okay. So then we have learned characteristics of forecasts, components or factors related to demand, and just we have seen an overview of the forecasting methods, not learned them in detail. Okay. Then how a company goes ahead and develops forecasting. Okay, so we need to learn that. So in today's class, we're going to go ahead with the basic approach to demand forecasting, or how demand forecasting is developed by a company. So first, the company understands the objective of forecasting, why forecasting is required. Okay, the companies need to understand the objective of forecasting first. Then integrate demand planning and forecasting throughout the supply chain. Okay, so from all the retailers, okay, if the information is gathered, then if we aggregate that demand, okay, so that demand will be more accurate than disaggregate demand. That is what it says. Integrate demand planning and forecasting throughout the supply chain. The manufacturer alone should not develop the demand forecasting in isolation. Then identify the major factors that influence the demand forecast. Of course, you have to take those factors into account while developing a demand forecasting. Okay. Then forecast at the appropriate level of aggregation. Okay. And then establish performance and error measures for the forecast. As we have learned in characteristics of forecasting, forecasts are never accurate, so you should insert a margin of error, plus or minus 5%, plus or minus 10%, whatever is acceptable to the company or industry standards. So let's learn these steps in detail one by one. The first step, the company need to understand why, okay, it is developing a forecasting, okay, or what is the objective of forecasting. So every forecast supports decisions that are based on it. Okay, that is what one need to understand first. Every forecast supports decisions that are based on it. Okay, say most simple example, how much of a particular product to make. Say there is a new model of a mobile phone handset a company is planning to introduce in the market. So since it is new, okay, the different particular question is how many units we are going to manufacture in first year. What is the basis for that? Okay, demand forecasting. How much to inventory, okay, across the supply chain. Say for example, with the manufacturer, with the wholesaler, with the retailers, okay, in the warehouses, outside the manufacturing plant, how much inventory to be maintained. Okay, that again depends on the demand for sales forecasting. Okay. In proportion to the sales forecasting, one need to maintain the level of inventory. How much to order? Order, when we say how much, okay, raw material should be ordered from the suppliers. That again depends on your demand forecasting or sales forecasting for your product. Okay. Then all parties or stages of supply chain should come up with a common forecast for the promotion. Okay. So again, in the last chapter, okay, so there is something called collaborative planning and forecasting. Okay, collaborative planning and forecasting. We learn more detail, okay, about those techniques and examples of companies, those who have adopted, okay, developing a method of developing sales forecasting where all stages or all parties, means suppliers of raw materials, manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, okay, okay, should come up, they come up together with a common forecast for the promotion. Okay, so such a forecast will be more accurate where all the stages of the supply chain come together and develop a forecast. Okay, it is possible. Okay, only thing is these parties or stages should be willing to share information with each other. Okay, for example, like Intel and Dell. Intel is a major supplier of Dell for microprocessors of laptops and computers. Okay, and whatever inventory is available in the Dell's assembly plants or warehouses of all the components of Intel, Intel can actually view live on, okay, updated information. So whatever inventory of microprocessors is remaining in Dell's warehouses or assembly plants, depending on that, Intel, okay, orders its suppliers. Okay, so that way, first the company need to understand the objective of forecasting. The next, the company needs to integrate demand planning and forecasting throughout the supply chain. Okay, see, because say try to understand how much inventory. Say if you some of you may have business. Okay, if you have a retail business, any product, it doesn't matter. How many units of finished goods you will maintain in your store? Okay, you may not use scientific methods like demand forecasting, but you will have some idea based on experience, past experience. Okay, so say for example, if it is a jewelry shop, okay, so you will maintain a higher level of inventory during wedding season and during Diwali season because demand increases during that month. Okay, then during those months you will order more of gold, for example, or whatever is required to make those jewelry. In turn, that person will also order more. So that way, okay, the demand from the customer, okay, the demand forecasting at the customer end affects all stages of the supply chain, like retailer, wholesaler, manufacturer, as well as supplier of retailer. That is the reason why company needs to integrate demand planning and forecasting throughout the supply chain. Say for example, even let us consider, okay, like FMCG products. Okay, so a company manufactures only after developing a sales forecasting for next 1 year, how many units we need to manufacture. Accordingly, they tell the wholesalers and retailers to maintain the level of inventory, and accordingly they plan to order for raw materials from the supplier throughout the year. So that is the reason why link forecast to all planning activities throughout the supply chain. So what are the planning activities? Capacity planning. Capacity planning means production capacity planning. Okay, what should be the production capacity of the plant, for example? Okay, that depends again on forecasting. Production planning. Okay, production planning is, say for example, I gave the example of one new model of mobile phone handset. How many units of the mobile phone handset have to be manufactured in a given period of time? That is 1 year, let us say. So all the units will not be manufactured. Let us say, for example, 1 lakh units. For example, 1 lakh units to be manufactured. All 1 lakh units of mobile phone will not be manufactured on the same day or in same month. Okay, it will be manufactured throughout the year. Okay, so how many units to manufacture in each month? We can call them as production planning or production scheduling. Accordingly, you need to make the inventory of raw materials available. Then promotion planning. Okay, so during which part of the year or during which month or week of the year the company should announce a sales promotion offers, because during sales promotion offer the demand will be more than the normal. It means the manufacturer will be ordering more raw materials previous to that. Same way he will be informing the wholesalers and retailers to inventory more, because the sales promotion offer the demand will be higher in that offer period. Accordingly, purchasing has to be adjusted based on the demand forecasting. Purchasing here is purchase of raw materials. Okay, so since this forecast affects all the activities and all the stages in the supply chain, the company needs to integrate demand planning and forecasting throughout the supply chain. Okay, so I hope I'm able to make you understand, okay, through simple examples. Okay, I'm using the points from the PowerPoint slide. Okay, so any questions so far? Stage 1 and stage 2. They are not exactly stages, okay, but we'll learn them one by one. That's it. Yes?
No, sir.
Anybody? Yeah, thank you. Anybody who is not able to understand any point, we can ask and clarify your doubts. Okay, so I hope you are paying attention and you are able to understand. Then the company should identify the major factors that influence the demand forecast. Why? Okay, say for example, economic state of a country. Say if the country is into recession, okay, what will happen? The demand will be low. So you can recall, okay, the news which I read for Intel. It was there in the second slide of the same PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so Intel initially last year, okay, for 2020-21, they released the forecasting figures, but again they withdrew their forecasted figures because they learned that COVID-19 is going to affect demand. Okay, so there will be recession in the economy and it is going to affect demand. Demand will be lower, so their sales will be lower and their profits will be lower. You can recall that. So like that. So that is called state of the economy, recession, normal or boom. Identify the major factors that influence the demand forecast and incorporate that or consider that factor to what extent it can affect the demand forecasting figures and accordingly make the adjustments. So identify demand, supply and product related phenomena that influences product demand. So on demand side, ascertain whether growing or declining or has a seasonal pattern. Okay, so whether the sales are declining. So for example, if you have historical data, the product that exist in the market already, you will have historical data for them. Say for example, 10-year data if you take, okay, the demand for the product, whether it is a declining or the demand for the product is growing or the demand is seasonal. Okay, say for example, if you consider the demand for umbrella, raincoats or crackers, for example, the demand is highly seasonal. Okay, so during season, okay, like monsoon, okay, or Diwali, for example, Ganesh festival, the demand for these products increase, and during the rest of the month, the demand for the products will be very little. But demand is not neither declining nor growing. It is seasonal. Okay, few months in a year, there is demand for products like umbrella, raincoat during monsoon and crackers for Ganesh festival and Deepavali festival. Okay, so there are many products. Okay, for example, like can you name few products for whom the demand is declining and for some products for whom the demand is growing?
Sir, sanitizers and all healthcare products.
Very good, very good. Okay, so the demand for hand wash and sanitizers is growing. Very good example. Excellent. Thank you. And any example for products for whom the demand is declining?
Automobile, sir.
Sir,
no. See, automobile is only because of recession. Only because of recession. We are talking about overall declining trend. Overall, if you take last 5 years data, 10-year data, the demand should show a declining curve.
Okay.
Any old products which people might have stopped using now? Okay, but I hope you got the meaning, right? Even now, example is coming to my mind now, but I hope you understand.
Yes.
So, ascertain whether the demand for the product is growing continuously, like the hand wash and sanitizers, for example, or it is declining over a period of time, or it has a seasonal pattern, like raincoat, umbrella, or crackers. Okay, so that will make you understand, okay, how to develop a more accurate forecast. Then these estimates must be based on demand and not on sales data. Okay, so this estimate must be based on demand, actual demand, and not on sales data. Sales data, when you say sales from manufacturer to wholesaler or sales from manufacturer to retailer. So demand forecasting should not be made on the basis of sales data. Forecasting should be made on the basis of actual demand from the customer end. Okay. So then to that extent, your forecasting will be more accurate. And the points to be considered from supply side are consider the available supply sources who are supplying the raw materials, okay, to decide on accuracy of demand forecast desired. For example, suppliers with short lead times, okay, are highly accurate. They will provide you highly accurate forecast, okay. So when the highly accurate forecast is not important, okay, so you can consider suppliers with short lead times. Okay, then it's a continuation. Supply side, consider the available supply sources to decide on accuracy of demand forecast desired. Single supplier with long lead times. Okay. So when the accurate forecasts are more important, okay, the company can consider a single supplier with long lead times. Okay. So this way, company should consider demand side, supply side. Okay. So what we want to say is, if the accuracy of the demand forecasting is not important, it's okay if there is a deviation also. Okay, in such cases, okay, you can consider multiple suppliers with short lead times. Okay, so as the number of suppliers increase, the certainty or demand of forecasting accuracy decreases. So when the accuracy of the forecasting is not important, you can go with multiple suppliers of raw materials who have shorter lead times. But when the accuracy of the forecast is very important, okay, then the company should prefer a single supplier. Okay, so with one supplier, okay, when you have to include the supplier into development of the forecasting will be more accurate when you have a single supplier. As the number of suppliers increases, simply the number of participants increase, the accuracy goes on decreasing. Then the factors to be considered from demand side. Number of variants of a product. See, you can understand, as I said, as the number of suppliers go on increasing, as the number of participants go on increasing in the process of developing forecast, definitely the forecasting accuracy will come down, okay, due to the participation of more number of people. Similarly, if the number of variants of a product are more, the accuracy of the forecasting will be little. You can try to understand. Okay, say for best example, say you have one product in the company, demand forecasting becomes more easy and accurate. You have 100 products, demand forecasting becomes more complicated and less accurate. Same way, if the product has more number of variants, demand forecasting becomes difficult or less accurate. Substitutes. Okay, so if there are substitutes, okay, in the same company, if there are substitutes, okay, the company should make a joint forecasting. Okay, for example, Colgate toothpaste, Colgate dental cream, Colgate Max fresh gel, Colgate herbal, Colgate salt, you don't know, Colgate whitening, okay, Colgate kids. There are more than 10 substitutes. Okay, so customer can use any one product of Colgate. We don't buy all. So in such case, the company should make a joint forecasting for all Colgate toothpaste substitutes or variants. Then example, improved version of an existing product. Okay, so what will happen is, say if you consider the product Gillette, okay, Gillette wet shaving product, the latest product is Gillette Pro Glide. Okay, so it is the most advanced and improved version of the existing product of Gillette. Other than that, Gillette also has Gillette Fusion Power, Gillette Fusion, then Gillette March 3 Turbo, Gillette XL, Sensor XL, Gillette Guard, Gillette Presto. Okay, I don't know, and many more, which I might have not named here. Okay, so that is what they say. So when you have number of variants of a product or substitutes, make a joint forecasting. Okay. Okay, and usually what will happen is improved version of an existing product means most of the customer will prefer to buy the latest version. So there will be the demand for the improved latest version will be more compared to the previous versions. Okay, so these factors have to be taken into account by the company from the product side. Okay. Any questions? Any questions so far? Okay, so this was slightly lengthy. Identify the major factors that influence the demand forecast. The factors from demand side, the factors from supply side, and the factors from product side, how they affect the accuracy of the demand forecasting, and how to consider these factors while developing the demand forecast. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Then let me continue. Okay, at next stage, the company need to forecast at the appropriate level of aggregation. Appropriate level of aggregation. Though already 2 times I explained what is the meaning of forecasting at the aggregate level. Let us go ahead with the example. A retail chain forecasting to select an order size for shirts. Okay, say for example, a shirt of 32 size, for example. Okay, or 28 size, 32 size, for example. A retail chain forecasting. Okay, say Reliance, what is that? Trends, Reliance Trends, for example. Okay, or Easy Buy, for example. Okay, Soch, for example. These are retail chains. Okay, so forecasting to select an order size for shirt. There are 2 approaches. Approach 1 is ask each store manager the number of shirts needed and add all the requests to get an order size. Okay. The disadvantage is forecast is made well before demand arises. Then approach 2 is ask each store manager only when the shirts are to be allocated across the stores. Okay. So here in approach 1, what happens before ordering? Okay, the company collects information from each store manager what is the quantity of the particular shirt with a particular size is needed. Okay, so the retail store will receive the same number of shirts of the same size well in advance, and then it will wait for the customers to come and purchase the product. So that is the disadvantage. So if company gathers information by asking each store manager the number of shirts needed and add all the requests, okay, the number received from all the store managers, let's say there are 500 stores. So all 500 store managers give how much quantity of the shirt of the particular size they needed. You add the total number from all the 500 stores and to get an order size. So you will understand how many shirts of that particular size to be ordered. But the problem is forecast is made well before demand arises. So shirts will arrive in store and the demand is still farther. So it cannot be accurate. Then approach 2 is ask each store manager only when the shirts are to be allocated across the stores. Let us say the company develops a forecast, okay, based on the historical data, and it decides to allocate the shirts. Okay, we have learned it in retailing. If retailing students can